Teremos início, então, à palestra do professor Mohamed Yunus, agradecendo a presença do governador Alberto Goldman, que, neste ato, em cumprimento a compromissos previamente agendados, irá se ausentar deste auditório. Vamos, então, dar início à palestra do professor Mohamed Yunus.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. What a great honor for me to participate in the 10th anniversary of People's Bank Microcredit Program. First, I want to congratulate People's Bank and all the staff who have dedicated themselves to build this program. Let's give them a big applause. Also, I would like to congratulate all the borrowers of this program who have been building up this reputation of performing so well and building up a credibility not only for People's Bank, also for all people in Brazil, that yes, we can do it as much as anybody else can do. Let's give them a big applause too. 10th anniversary is always a great moment. You have already covered a long distance. You have a track record. This is what we do. And we have done it over 10 years. And now 10 years brings to a stage where you can really take off in a big way. I hope this will mark that point in the history. That was the point where microcredit in Brazil really took off and reached out to many, many people who've never been able to access that service. It's so important that financial services be brought to the poorest person. It's important because we live in a world where everything is done with money. While we build the economy where everything is done with money, we have denied a whole big part of the world population any access to that money. We built a wall saying that you cannot enter this world and left them alone. So if money brings money, if you need $1 to catch $1, if you don't have the first $1, you are finished. You can't go anyplace. So all you do, you offer yourself at the mercy of others. They decide when they're going to hire you. They decide when they're going to fire you. They decide anything. Why? Because I don't have that $1 which opens the $1 door for me. So I'm empty-handed. I'm incapacitated. Despite the fact, as a human being, I have unlimited potential. Any human being, whether a human being is born on the street or a human being is born in a palace, so far as human quality is concerned, there is no difference. Each human child is born with unlimited capacity. Suppose by some magic we can lift the child who was born right now on the street and exchange it without anybody ever knowing with the child who is born right now in a palace. You know the story, what will happen. The story is the child who is now on the street will grow up as a street child, is probably a criminal, probably a destitute, probably someone who has no future. The child who grew up in the palace will grow up as a prince. So it's not what you are born with. It is about how you grew up makes all the difference. So in that world, if we build a wall that we do not let anybody cross that wall, we have no future. So that's the question we raised way back, some 31 years back, in one small village in Bangladesh. Said, why should it be so? Why can't we do other way? Why can't we lend money to anybody? Bank said, no, you cannot do that. It's impossible. I said, we can at least try. So we tried, and it worked. And then we continued to expand it and continued to tell everybody that if banks tell you that it cannot be done, don't believe them. Because it can be done. Because we see every day how it happens. And one thing we saw good that we had, at least I had, I knew nothing about banking. I think that was the best advantage I had, not knowing about banking. Since I didn't know anything about banking, so I could do anything I wanted to, because I didn't know what I'm violating. Sometimes if you are an expert in something, it's very difficult for you to do something which is different than what you know. Because you are so convinced with your expertise, you don't want to move away from your expertise. Since I was totally ignorant about banking, I could try out anything. And that's what I did. And that's why banking that we created is almost the opposite of the conventional banking. Conventional bank go this way, Grameen Bank goes this way. Conventional banks go to the rich, Grameen banks go to the poor. Conventional banks go to men, Grameen Bank goes to the women. Conventional banks ask for collateral, Grameen Bank say no collateral. We don't need collateral. Conventional bank brings lawyers to tie you up. Grameen Bank say we don't need any lawyers. Conventional banks say you have to come to our office so that we can do business with you. We said no, bank has to go to the people to do business with them. So you go on listing them. It's so different, but it works. Today, it's more interesting. More interesting because the whole world is getting nervous because of subprime crisis. In subprime crisis, the mortgage crisis, housing crisis, subprime loans. Conventional banks gave trillions of dollars in housing loans. Now they cannot recover it. They have to write off those loans. Nearly $1 trillion write-offs. And I'm telling them, maybe it's a good time for the conventional banks to stop and reflect. Maybe we have to redesign banking. Because after all, if you give away $1 trillion, you can't remain just satisfied with business as usual. There is no business as usual.